Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. I hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief and all that good stuff. Now, it's just bugging me. It's just it's just the whole thing is bugging me. I like the question that we're going to get to in a minute with Epstein files and stuff like. It's a different angle, and I quite like it, and that's why we're going to go and do that sort of stuff. However, can I just for a moment, right? Bearing in mind, I got this lovely, where is it? This lovely, I've got to change screens, bear with. This lovely comment from Hush Hour, who said, "Never mind GB news, this is GG news, much better." That's true. I know there's a smirky face and a sucking up kind of like emoji there and all that kind of, and lots of like 9 people upvoted this and it's very lovely and kind and stuff like that. But bloody hell, have we got to this stage? Corway must be desperate. It's concerning. Let's just put it that way. It's concerning if that is the case that we are now. However, having said that, and it's very nice indeed, can I just remind people, okay, this is just like what I've picked up along the way, all right? I'm just sharing stuff that is being underreported or something or other, and I'm just like, look, this is of importance or whatever, or this has been skewed and that kind of stuff. For example, Ed Davey, that, and you may, long time people who have been around, shockingly, hello, spieling from his face today about Russia. Can I remind people, okay, one of the sources of this, MI6X agent whoever, Steele, is saying it's Russia. Can I remind you, what was it, 2 years ago? Maybe 3 at this point. Time flies when you're all having so much fun. He was the dossier, the Steele dossier. It's the same sod, which turned out to be a lie. Okay, it's a lie. Now, there's been like a couple of days. There's been 2 factions. Okay, one faction is going, oh, it's Israel, which is, you know, where they're signed up to. And then you've got, which is now becoming more apparent now because it's much easier, that it's Russia. Bearing in mind, the Clintons were saying Russia for Trump. Then the EU's been going Russia, Russia interference and stuff like that. Oh, wait, what was that yesterday? US Congress kind of dropped truth bombs galore that EU itself are the only ones that they can find that have actually interfered with their own elections. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 or 3. We're talking about 10 at least. Multiple elections that they've been purposefully interfering through their version of the online safety bill. So, if you see, from my humble opinion, don't take my word for it, like the spirituality and all that kind of stuff. You do you, boo. That is the rule of the game over here. I am not here. I'm not on commission for any sort of shenanigans. Trust me, if I was, bloody hell, this would be in 4K for starters. However, there is no money. So the point is this, okay? If you're hearing it like the rumours for the last couple of days where it's Israel, 9 times out of 10, Gaza / pro-Palestine, anything to make them, anti-Semitic, basically, that kind of thing, in my humble opinion. You do you, boo. The other side, Russia, are normally the ones who are actually akin to the WEF, EU, alphabet spaghetti that we've been talking about on this channel forever, because it implicates much more those organisations, the connections, the access that Epstein had. And remember, Epstein is just one guy. We're all supposed to think that it's one guy. Also, with the Mandelson, this is part 2, all right? Second point I wanted to make. I know that was a big first one, but it's just the second one, as we're doing GG news right now, the second one is the fact that it's been skewed. Notice that it's been skewed constantly. That Epstein's relationship Mandelson's relationship with Epstein. He knew the whole kind of children thing, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and he still did it. That's the framing. He knew about that, but he still did it. Okay? Implying through their own language, their own actions, the repeating of it, and now all of a sudden, lies. He just lied constantly, blah, blah, yeah, right. He's been around the Labour Party for how many decades? And you knew exactly what Mandelson was like. Everyone knew pretty much exactly what Mandelson was like. Everyone knew what Epstein was like. Let's be honest. But he was on your side, basically on the progressive side, right? That's why I keep talking about the progressives, not the left. They're different kettle of fish. However, the implication of this specific wording that they're using is that that there are other relationships exactly like Epstein and Mandelson. Okay, listen to what they're saying clearly. He should have known better after the conviction. Okay, it's not the fact really he did it. He should have known better. Implying there are other. Pretty much a lot of people, shall we say, a reasonable amount of people who have similar relations to what Mandelson had with Epstein. But this is the one that we're going to be talking about because this is the one that's got all the evidence. All right? Let's just put it into context, shall we? That's where we're at right now, okay, as I record this and that kind of thing. So it's bugging me. Sorry, it's just, I had to get it off my chest. Had to get it off my chest. Finally got it off my chest. Feel a lot better now. I've been feeling crap this morning, to be honest with you, which leads us lovely into it's just like since the accident, blah, blah, blah. We don't really talk about it. It's just stuff, right? This week has just been, right? Last week was turning a bit, now it's, right? So it's just, it happens. You kind of have to deal with it kind of thing. Anyway, this question comes from Rothbar, who says, hi, Gigi. Hope you're well and not working too hard. You need to look after yourself. Tell me about it. Yeah, but it's all right. All right. I'm trying to be manageable, and that's why it's taken a bit longer to put the freebie stuff, basically syncing the freebie stuff onto Patreon, right? Because like I said yesterday, in yesterday's video, I was going to say show then, behave, but the tagging system, I wanted to try and make sure that while we're kind of making it easier for people to reference things, go to the tag section on Patreon and like spiel through. The unfortunate thing about the tagging that I've seen, but I have no control over, but that's part of the job of going to Patreon, is that it's in order of the amount of times the tag is being used and not necessarily in an alphabetical order. And I don't think you can change that, unfortunately, which would make things a hell of a lot easier. Because if you were looking to go look for a farmer or farm or farming or what, something like that, you'd want, look to the F's. Anyway. But yeah, overall, I'm all right. Got coffee. I'm fine. It's the nectar of the gods, the fuel that funds all this thing. Rothbar continues. I'm wondering, with all this Epstein files being released and a lot of coverage of it, isn't there just? This is the only one, remember? This is the only time, this is everything. He should have known better. Not because he was, now it's turned into kind of sharing secrets and things, but I may have found coffee. Cheers, my dears. The mention of coffee, and then I went, I'm a bit dry. I need to be lubricated by the nectar of the gods. So I, cheers. So What are we missing? This is the new angle that I liked about this. I'm surprised it only got one upvote. But this is really interesting. What are we missing that needs / wants to be covered up? So a different way of looking at it. Instead of wants to be exposed, what wants to be covered up. Yeah. And we've talked about, we did a members reading yesterday, which are in sync between the two platforms. They're because obviously you're paying for them. So I want to make sure that we're up to date on there. They're native over there as well as over here. So that's good. It's just the freebie ones. There's like a couple of hundred of videos, right? I've got to slowly but surely go. So anyway, enough about me. Anyway, so wants to be covered up. Could you possibly do a reading to see if we need to focus on something else? I love your reading. Oh, here comes the suck up. Oh, the suck up sandwich is instigated. Here we go. This is the highlight of my day, to be honest with you. Indoors does nothing like this. No matter how many times I beg. I love your readings, no matter the subject. Sending hugs to you and your family. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Love, sweet kisses and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Rothbar. This is why I liked it. So we've covered several angles. Hopefully this is the last kind of one. I would remind people that so far we do seem to be on track with the prediction reading I did with Stuttery Starmer. Christmas, New Year time. Okay, so I shared that on Twitter, subtle plug, down below. And that'll be over there and all that kind of stuff. And it's also here on YouTube. Yeah, it's lovely. So, interesting. I'm first off, I really should put down the coffee. Let me put it out there, because for the new boys and girls, I'll put it so far away from me because I can't help but trust it. I may knock it. So can we please do a reading on what are we missing that needs / wants to be covered up for the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciative. Yes. Let me push a button as well. Oh, the cards are getting a bit difficult to slide together. They're a bit there's a friction there, which these cards rarely happens. Like, for example, the prediction deck, it can get like that, but I find that's more of a kind of a static because of the lamination they've got. But let's have a look here for the greatest good for all concerned. Thing. What needs to be, wants to be covered up, wants to be talked about, needs to be covered up. Right, these feel ready for the greatest good for all concerned. Rule number 1, yes. Always be appreciative, yes. Here we go. Wheel of Fortune. This feels like it's slightly on the wonk right now. Okay, technical term, thank you. Upright is good luck, good karma, good destiny, good. Okay, this here is it because it's in the wheel of motion, because it's always turning, yeah? And it kind of feels like it's about 10 o'clock right now. Stop it. Stay. Doesn't help that I keep doing this. But it's kind of... But there is definitely... I'm being reminded about the friction of the cards. This is trying to be prevented from continuing now. Hence the Russia and stuff like that, which we've already discussed. So, but it's up. It's yes, it's on the wonk, but it's in the motion of going upright. Just for the people who are learning tarot and stuff like that, if you think of it like clockwise, so if it's on the wonk this way, it's on the turn going down. That's how I read anyway. You do, you boo. Anyway, so Wheel of Fortune, King of Pentacles, values, worth. I like that. I think that's you and I. Okay. 8 of Wands, 3 of Swords. Yeah, this is what we did the reading about Pandora's box yesterday being opened. Like I said, it's for the elites, both on Patreon or here. If you, I would prefer, there will be a link down below just for you to not worry about and stuff like that. We are closing the memberships here on YouTube on the 1st of March. The free channel will still be going, like this video right here is freebie. You still be here, right? Still keep going. But the paid for additional readings, the extra readings that we do, they'll be on Patreon from now on. Oh, from the 1st of March, okay? Totally shut down. Anyway, so the 8 of Wands here, this is the cover-up. This is the desperation, the heartbreak that it's been exposed, okay? This is the whole Russia thing and stuff like that, and the spin and the malarkey and the cray-cray that we're witnessing right now. All trying to cover their own backsides, like West Street even though that's now just burned bridges everywhere. I noticed that his partner, I can't remember his name now, but anyway, I didn't realise his partner was also in the Labour Party, and there was a lot of changes to his LinkedIn profile. His partner was also a personal assistant to, I think that's the framing of it, to Mandelson as well. So there's a lot of connections with West Street in his partner, Mandelson, that kind of stuff. Leave that by the by. This is kind of woe is us kind of energy. Desperation, woe is us. We're the victims. Okay? Yeah. That seems to be, because this is values. This is like glorified accountant, but it's not about money necessarily. It's about values. They're like British values, the values of the government, the value that what we should be standing for, that kind of thing. All right, but the Wheel of Fortune's heading in the right direction. We're good here. Okay. That's weird. It's a complicated energy. I'm going to continue on because it feels like it's drip, drip, drip. So I'm going to continue. Yeah, I think that's best because I will be sitting here for about 5 minutes. I'll slurp some more coffee. But let's move on for a little bit. 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands feels as if it's in its reverse state, which is the Pandora box opening. So they're desperately trying to make moves, delete things from Twitter, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, this is in its reverse state, which it was in the membership reading. It's weird that I don't know why I do this. I'm really bad at business, right? It's clear, right? Let's be honest about this, right? Oh, GG, but you're so good in other things. Thank you, but thank you. How lovely, whoever that was. But closing memberships and reopening them somewhere else, bad business decision. Everyone's telling me like that this is worse, but bad idea, blah blah blah. But we need to put our eggs in multiple baskets. Just look at what's happening, the attacks going on with X right now, both in France and the UK. You know, Google and YouTube are based here in the UK as well as other places in Europe. Patreon is based in America, 2 offices in America, San Francisco and New York. And their only other office, clearly for tax purposes, is in Dublin, right? So they're not as exposed, is why we're having kind of a spreading it out, right? But this is the Pandora's box. They can't, this way up is Wounded Warrior, defending their ground, trying to like keep it going. This side is basically there is nothing. They can't defend it. They're wounded. They're down. They're crapping themselves. No matter how much they're moving and shaking and grooving, it's a done deal. The evidence is out there. Yeah. 8 of Wands and the 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups, clubbing together, community, clubbing together. This is almost like circling the wagons kind of energy I'm getting here. So going back to the unknown card, this feels like, for the unknown card, new boys and girls, this is one of the 4 extra cards in this deck, which is the 5-cent tarot, for people keep asking. I'm going to do videos on the, well, it's coming, but it's 5-cent tarot. I'll review it and all that kind of stuff, do YouTube things, but give us a chance. So I've been saying that for a couple of years, but give us a chance. Right. When I do it, I'm going to do all the cards, all right? It's not just the ones that you see. It's like every deck, and I'll review what I think of them and stuff. So I don't want to just do half-hearted and just do it properly, you know? So the unknown card here is leaning into the faith of the situation, okay? It's complicated, and there's like several bits to this, the downloads I'm getting here, okay? So we know what's inside this egg. Okay, like we know what's inside the Epstein files, right? Inside this egg is a chick. Yeah, we know that. We know it to be true. We don't have to smash it open and go, oh, look, there's a chick. And then wonder how, like Humpty Dumpty trying to put the egg back together so it comes out when it's ready. It's like we know it's there. And when it's ready, it will come out and it'll be good. You know, leaning into that faith. We know it's going to be fine. It's going to be all right. This here is like we know what's inside the Epstein files, okay? They can't take that knowledge away from you. It's available on on an American server, freely available, and to be able to be searched by name, like people's names and that kind of thing. And it's a lot, but it will come up of all the different people that are being mentioned, etc. Everyone from Blair. William Hague's in there a few times, all sorts of people, right? And this is kind of like having faith not only in God's spirit universe, that's one side that I'm getting here, having faith in the situation, positive faith, not a negative faith, okay? And there's a big difference here, and I think this is why it took a little while for it to drip, drip, drip. We need, as a community, wider afield, instead of the humdrum, because it's not our baggage. It's not our problem. Okay? It's not. Seriously, it's not. It's basically, we need to have the positive faith, that high vibe faith, hashtag high vibe, where we have faith that this will be cleared out. Yeah? And I've been I was going to say reporting. I've got GG News in my head now. Why I order, but it's like I've been, I suppose, prophesizing. Is that too much? That is way too much. Rein the neck in, GG. But it's that kind of, you know, I've been predicting for some time that the cleansing is happening. The cleansing, and that's the vibe that we need to have here. We need to have that kind of, I have faith in this situation that it will truly get to the root causes of issues and problems and stuff like that. It will truly get to the depths it needs to. I have faith and trust in the situation, that kind of stuff. Yeah? And equally, it's having faith that the true depths will come out, because it can't not. Let's be honest, it can't not. It's in public domain. It's freely available. Anyone can be searched in there up to, when was it, 2017? 16, 17 emails? So yeah, there's almost a decade, like 9 years. I can do maths quickly, shut up. There's been 9 years gap, but there's enough there to show what's going on. All right? And lots, like, people being repeated. So we've got circling the wagons here, but the truth is out. This can't, right? This can't. They've got to, brace themselves for what's coming in desperation, because the truth is out. It can't be manipulated. Yeah? Even though they're trying, it can't, because it's right there. Just go and search for it. You can go to it via a website, any website, phone, tablet, computer, any website, browser, and just go and just play. Yeah, it was quite literally just typing in search, like who could possibly, So, unknown, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight of Cups, heart on our sleeve. Pretty much exactly what I was just talking about. With our principles, yeah, having faith. Notice how, this is why I like looking at the pretty pictures. Notice how the jellyfish here is kind of like that cartoonistic kind of heartbeat, yeah? Kind of going back to Looney Tunes, kind of dun 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 dun, really kind of like, there's a microphone there, don't touch the microphone. That was I maybe doing the mime of the dun dun dun? I might have been, yes. I've been caught out, damn. But this, I've got sock puppets back here and everything, just making it up as I go along. But the Knight of Cups here is that lightheartedness, yeah, that I was literally just talking about here. So it's not the negative, because the important thing here to remember is that the burden, they're trying to put the burdens on us, you and me. The more burdened we are, the less enlightened we are, the less of a relationship we have with God, Spirit, and universe, that kind of thing, whatever you want to call them. So that's why we look at things and then return to sender. That's the whole purpose. Well, see what's going on and then return to sender. It's your problem, not ours. Okay, we don't take this on. It's not our problem. Similar here with the Knight of Cups. This is the lightheartedness. It's allowing the crap to hit the fan, the ones that are responsible and in connection with, and that kind of thing. Okay. Star card, divinely guided. There you go. North Star. Notice that these are looking at each other. Yeah? They're trapped. The whole manipulation is out. Isn't it interesting that, like I keep on saying, I've been saying for months, isn't it interesting that all these people standing up for the working people, we ain't going to be doing it for much longer, so we might as well enjoy it while we can. Working people, working people, Breakfast Club. They haven't mentioned a Breakfast Club in a while. I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. But it's like all these people, some multi-millionaires, but they've all been working in the public domain all this time. And it's like you wonder why the country allegedly has no money. The country has a crap ton, technical term, metric ton of money. All right. It takes a phenomenal amount, a stupid amount of taxes right now. Okay. So there is no lack of money in that respect. What's the problem is that they're all multi-millionaires, and we're supposed to not question it. It just happens. It's just the book deals they do, or the speeches. That's how they top it up. That's how they do it. If you know they're on 93k a year, MPs, right? How on earth is, like, Rayner was reported at 4 million, wasn't it? How on earth is she 4 million? She was a carer, then she was a counsellor from memory. I may be getting this wrong, but yeah. So I know she was a carer, and I think she was some sort of counsellor for a bit, and then she's an MP, and yet suddenly she's now worth 4 million quid allegedly. So divinely guided. Yeah, they're clubbing together, but it's divinely guided. Excuse me. Pandora's box is open. They're up a certain creek without a paddle. 7 of Cups. Where do we want to go from here? This feels like negotiations. Interesting that we're trying to focus on what we should be focusing on, yeah, or what they're trying to cover up and that kind of thing. But at the moment, it's all about egos and worrying about them and putting the wagons around and all that kind of stuff and protecting themselves and all that kind of shenanigans. 7 of Cups down here feels like a negotiation. It feels some sort of kind of rolling back on certain things. Because remember, that goes to the heart of the progressive movement, the DEI kind of quotas and things, and the ESG stuff and all that. It's all implemented by the banks, which notice we're not talking about the banks involved in this Epstein file. It's by the institutions, the alphabet spaghetti that we keep on talking about. Interesting that we're not talking about them right now because we're all focusing allegedly on Russia. So on and so forth. This hits the core of what they're standing for. And what are they? Let's review it, shall we? It's Labour. We all know that. No matter how left or soft left or all sorts of left they are, progressives. Lib Dems. Need I say more about Ed Davey? Maybe you should go for another bungee jump. It'd be lovely. Then we've got the Greens. Enough said there. Dave, the titty whisperer, and his oik stuff people, and then half of the Conservatives. Okay, so can I about that much? About half. I can't do it. Half. But do you see what I'm saying? It's like they're all signed up to all this shenanigans. They've implemented it and introduced it and infiltrated, if you wish to say it that far, from everywhere from the police to the NHS to there was a report a couple of months ago. I don't know if I mentioned it on the channel. The NHS spent something in the region. It was billions, right? I think it was like 1.5 billion, something like that. Stupid amount of money from their budget. Bearing in mind their budget is the same size as the entire GDP of either Portugal or New Zealand. The entirety of their, like, one of those, pick one, okay? And it's still not enough. Strange that, isn't it? But they spent something like 1.5 billion on changing boilers and changing like solar panels and all that kind of stuff to make themselves eco-friendly. And the report was stating that even though they've made all this investment, it doesn't touch the sides. And in fact, the cost of like their electrical grid and all that kind of thing and like that malarkey has gone up bill-wise, money-wise. So this 1.5 billion over here, waste of time, waste of money. Strange that, isn't it? Overarching energy. Page of Pentacles. This feels like a tug of war. Who's going to plant this seed of opportunity? They're trying to keep control. They're trying to all this kind of stuff. They're part of the problem. They are not the solution, in my humble opinion. It just doesn't feel like they're exposed. They're desperate, heartbroken. How could our ego rub issues? Oh, they're all clubbing together. They're all part of the same, or like we've just discussed. But it's divinely guided. Look at how we're eye to eye here. Yeah? Divinely guided to be like lighter. And we need to act lighter for this negotiation to come. What do we actually want? It's almost like, what do we want to manifest in this? Okay? So the Page of Pentacles is a tug of war of who's going to plant the seed of opportunity. At the moment, notice that the progressives here, 4 cards, just a maths game. That's our... read tarot as well. It's all part and parcel in my humble opinion. Wheel of Fortune, King of Pentacles. So that's 2. Welcome to Sesame Street. 3. 4. 5. 6. So we outnumber them energetically and by proportion of of the population. Underlying, bam, caught up. Of this evil, yeah, this nastiness, this shenanigans. This goes deeper, this goes further. The carrot, like I was saying previously, notice the words they use, especially when they repeat them. It's clearly coming from spin doctor, something or other. They've been pressed on this to use this terminology over and over and over again to get into your psyche, the zeitgeist kind of thing, yeah. So when they're saying, Mandelson should have known better, how dare he, blah, blah, blah. We're thinking of the victims. We're thinking of this virtue signaling, blah, blah, blah. The victims still haven't got any further forward. Just from what I've noticed, or lack of, shall we say. However, we are still, that the bad thing that Mandelson did was keep a relationship going, is what they're saying. Because of that. Not the fact that he kept the relationship going, but he should have known better because of that. Yeah? Very, so this is what we're talking about here. The problem is now is the media, because they're all part and parcel, Emily Maitlis and all them lot, right? They're all suckling off the same teat. They're all part of the same club, all that kind of stuff. So it's a situation of like, who's going to break rank and actually represent the population. It might be the Telegraph, and I'm only saying that because as long-term people know, I try and keep out of an echo chamber and watch as much media from all different sides as possible, okay, to make my own opinion or get nuggets of stuff and blah, blah, blah. So when I say it's the Daily Telegraph, probably, if they are going to break ranks, it's probably going to be them. Is that from my experience, currently, GB News and Telegraph are the main two that are proactive in breaking news and kind of exposing things that the others won't, and the others normally jump on the bandwagon after they've broken the cycle. I will like an honourable mention occasionally, but it's not as frequent from my humble opinion, but occasionally the Times does a similar thing. But I would say it's 50% of the time, roughly, broad strokes, that they do that. So, but not as consistently, as in my humble opinion. That's what we're talking about here. When does the caveat, the disclaimer, maybe, that Mandelson should know better because of this, what Epstein did and convicted and blah, blah, blah. Okay? Because of that. Not what he notice, not what he did. They get onto that later, but the main structure of the argument, almost like the straw man argument, is that caveat. So, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So at the moment, like I said, this feels like we're not really getting close to where we need to be for this question. So let's go to the prediction. Not the prediction. Yeah, it is the prediction deck. Sorry, see what I mean? I'm just not in the. I'm not in the groove today. I just. I know what I'm talking about. Thousands wouldn't, but it's fine. It's okay. So let's have a butcher's at the energy surrounding us. For the new boys and girls, we never cut. We never do any edits. So you can see I'm shuffling. I'm not stacking the deck or anything like that. It's part of the transparency that I want for this channel. Yeah, you see I can't stack the deck. I'm not putting anything into it and that kind of stuff. We see the cards at the same time and that malarkey. So let's have a look. One more here. So this is the energy around the situation. Hopefully we'll actually get the actual insights that we've been asking for in this reading. Or we may actually have to add another level to this reading than we normally do. But we'll find out, yeah? Because the dinky deck keeps staring at me. It's very rude. Very. So, Wheel of Fortune upright, hiding something. This is the pushback that kind of stuck at 10. King of Pentacles, public burnout. Because they can't go to that high honor that we've been talking about for the last week or two. They can't get to that standard because they're not at that standard. Yeah? Eight of Wands. New rules. There we go. Suddenly, quick. We'll change something. Quick things. Blah, blah, blah. New rules, new regulations, new laws, new possibilities. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. But they're part of the problem. Three of Swords. Trying to return to normal. That feels like a trying to turn to normal. It doesn't feel like a return to normal. Okay? Or if it does, like, I'll caveat, if it does return to some sort of normality, it's a delusion. It's like their own safety blanket. It doesn't feel like it's real. Yeah? So between these two, it's like, oh, we like virtue signaling, we've done something, like dust off their hands. No. No. Unknown card. Tech, AI. This feels like we need to deploy, in some respects, AI and things like that into this. Just full disclosure, I have. They're free tools. You might as well use them. Go to I just went to ChatGPT and Grok. I've been using both of them to kind of like, just to compare what the results would be between the two. Ask them to get access to the drop of Epstein files and just like what's coming on and that kind of thing, and what would you highlight for me and all that. Fascinating stuff. So yeah, it's interesting though. Just a little highlight. William Hague wrote a what was it called? A commentary piece, opinion piece, for The Telegraph, I think it was actually, about how we need to censor social media while this is all going on. Interesting, he's in the files, isn't it? Interesting timing. Or maybe it's just a coincidence. 9 of Wands in reverse. Hand of ship. Yes. We've taken our control back. So we're using the technology that we've got access to, social media. Yeah, X. That's why I say down below. We know there's something being hidden from us. We know it. And they're using it and they're trying to prevent it from coming out. They're burning themselves out. Their desperation to show something. But the hand of ship, like, I can speak, shut up. The handing over the who's in charge has happened because Pandora's box is open. It is there for all to see. Okay? 3 of Cups. Breakthrough. So those 3 up there, okay, they're burning themselves out because they can't get to the same level that we expect from them. Okay? Desperation to change the rules to try and cover their own backsides and prove to or virtue signal that something's happening when it whatever. Returns to normal, desperation. Those 3 are the government, Parliament, the alphabet spaghetti, that lot. Okay? Half of this is the tug of war that we've been talking about down here. The tug of war of like the desperate not to expose everything else that's going on and trying to hold the wheel turning from its 10, like I said, about 10 p.m. Point of the turn. But we're using everything that we've got access to. Beautiful stuff. The handover has happened because the Pandora's box is open and they've got they can't defend what they've been doing and have been doing. Let's be honest, 9 years. Breakthrough, more stuff coming out. Knight of Cups, that light-hearted that we need to get back to. Unburdened, enlightened, no matter which way you put it, same bloody thing. Heatwave, passion, there we go. That's always keeps coming out for us. If you are going to protest, please do it peacefully. Remember, Gandhi, sensible shoes, and deodorant. Be like Gandhi with the caveats. Said it for years at this point. It's the only way forward because you can't be burdened by their shenanigans. Yeah, you've got to be better than that. Not that your crap don't stink. I'm just saying that you've got to be unburdened. You've just got to be kind of like they're making up numbers kind of thing. Even though it seems like they always seem to try and whip you up into a frenzy so they can arrest you or they can diminish you or belittle what you're saying or whatever it may be. noticed the endorsement from Tommy Robinson with Matt Goodwin. Yeah, Labour's not bashing on about that anymore recently, are they, to try and diminish that situation? Will you denounce what Tommy Robinson... blah, 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 blah. Tommy Robinson can do whatever he wants. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what are they going to do? It's like, denounce him? What? Like, it's you do you, boo. If we're in that real world situation, this is what I keep on repeating in it. You do you, boo. Freedom of expression. But that's definitely not going to help them, are they? So the star card there. Let's have a look. Divinely guided. Planning strategy. Oh. To prevent the wheel from turning. I know I keep going back to that, but it's the easiest way to explain it. Trying to plot, plan, scheme to block this. The breakthroughs, they don't like being out in the cold because who really is in charge here? We're using technology too much. How dare we expose them in all this way, shape or form? They can't keep up with it. They can't spin it. The evidence is right there. Not just on this, but other things as well. Seven of Cups. No clear outlook. Moon card. Overarching energy. Sinking ship, though. Underlying energy. Tensions escalating. This is what I'm worried about. Yeah? Because of their incompetence, then they can play the victim kind of thing. How dare you do X, Y, and then arrest them like Lucy Connolly kind of thing. Isn't it amazing that that is being so underreported right now? Obviously, we've got other stuff, bigger stuff kind of thing, the alleged corruption of craziness going on. Fair dues. But isn't it amazing that Lucy Connolly has, like this week, proved that Starmer and Lord Hermer, the attorney of the government, there's document signed by him giving him authentic, involved in her case, and they were like, oh no, Stuttery Starmer, working people. No, the judiciary system is independent. Working people, Breakfast Club. And now she's proved it. It's all over Twitter. It's like, there you go. Screen, like literally taking a photograph of her screen of the documentation. 10th of August, I think it is, off the top of my head. When the document, the letter was sent from her, Hermer, whatever his name is, to the case, to expedite it, to move it along, to do it as quickly as possible, and all that kind of stuff. Giving permissions and things. Interesting that. Fingerprints all over it. Fun times. But yes. And that's on top of the British veterans that have been ignored entirely since all that shenanigans waiting to be resolved as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Or answered about. Anyway, let's have a look at this outcome here. Now, in fact, you know what? I'm going to do the dinky deck. It keeps staring me out. Can we just focus on what are we missing? What's the actual... This is lovely, but let's actually go back to what are we missing that wants to be covered up? What are we... And I'm going to shuffle these, which is very rare, and then we'll go into the outcome and stuff like that. But, oh, that's a... Whoa. Footnote. We got a footnote there, people. We got a footnote. I caught it. Oh, of course, mischief. All right. Footnote wants to come out. Let me just push the button again. Right. I have been looking into, and we've obviously got other stuff going on and stuff like that, and but I have been looking into trying to like voice activate things so I don't have to keep pushing buttons. But it's on the to-do list. It's on the For the people on YouTube who have not met Julie before, you're lucky. That's all I'm saying. She's my personal assistant who I keep trying to get rid of, and she still keeps coming back. It's just trouble. But yeah, I'm trying to give her access to that. Anyway, let's have a butcher's here. What are we missing that wants to be covered up? Oh, that one there. Okay. What are we missing that needs / wants to be covered up? Okay. What wants to be covered up? Okay. Overarching energy. Wheel of Fortune. The control movement. This is what keeps coming back. Hopefully this is going to be some subjects here, but divinely guided. The baton has changed over. This is what they really don't want to, so that we've actually got control now. The control is in, like, it keeps coming up, this Wheel of Fortune. Yeah? So let's go through it as it's laying down here. So hopefully this is a subject matter. They are stuck in everything. The Two of Swords here feels very strongly like it's almost like a tapestry. If we claw at it a little bit and pull it a little bit, suddenly it all unravels and it's suddenly all the dots are joined up. And like I said, no one's talking about the banks involved. JP Morgan's one of them. Yeah. Lloyd's was another one, I believe, off the top. Yeah, it wasn't Barclays, it was Lloyd's. And there was another one as well. Deutsche Bank, I think, was also involved somewhere along. There's a lot of banks involved that he had connections and access to, right? Who are all implementing ESG and all that kind of malarkey to control and all that. Yeah, anyway. But they are stuck. This feels like it's not just a Starmer situation or a Labour situation. This is the club is stuck. I'm getting the energy that there's like this desperation of trying to tit for tat back to America. But other than Trump bad, they're like, what else could they use to attack back? It's that sort of energy. They are painted into a corner. They're like, sometimes this is difficult decisions, but this feels more like there is no decisions. There is nothing. There is no way out of this, and we've got to take this opportunity, especially with this divinely guided at the bottom here, to actually do our part, as it were. Yeah? And literally share it around. For some reason this wants to come up. Tower. It kept moving around, smurring around on the top of the deck. What else we got here? Heartbreak. I'm going to use the term that it's not the legal term. I've got to cover your backside, don't you? All that kind of stuff. But the corruption here, not the legal term, goes deeper, wider, more local than you can possibly understand at this moment. Okay? They're going to start smearing it as conspiracy theories. But isn't it interesting that in the last 18 months, as it's all escalated and gone cray-cray, within weeks, and it was a little bit before then as well, but within like a week or two, that's just a conspiracy theory. And then suddenly it's gone through, or it's suddenly being debated upon in Parliament exactly how it was saying a week before. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's like, it's so transparent now. It is ridiculous. And the thing is, like, for a majority of it, in my humble opinion, it's not even, it's like it's not even, it's out in the open. Yeah, I'm not that clever. All I, like, some of the times, because some people have asked, like, how do you keep up with all the stuff and like that? You literally, like, I cannot explain how easy it truly is to just take like a PDF from or a document or whatever from the as an example, the WEF actual website. They ain't being transparent about all this. No, sorry, they're not hiding it. Sorry, they're being truly transparent about this. Just copy the URL of that document and just go to ChatGPT or Grok or whatever and go, can you summarize this 50-page document into kind of bullet points, highlighting the most important things to take away from it, or what they're trying to plan or what they're trying to do and that kind of thing. And there it is. Yeah, page 5, they're talking mainly about that. Page 12, they're blah, blah, blah. It's not that difficult. Yeah? Mainly because I'm not paid for it. So it's like, screw it, I'll just do it. I'll be lazy and do it. This heartbreak here is the exposure of the true reality of the world they're trying to build. They can't scapegoat anymore. They can't do that. They're trying to, but they can't. There is no way out of this. The fact it's come up for a second time for them. This is what we're not taking away. The grief of it. This goes to the heart. Like I keep on repeating, this is not just the UK. This is France. Macron is got to do it properly or not at all. Is in the files, right? The Merkel's in the files. The German, back in the day kind of thing. There's a lot of them that are in there or have connections or accessible, to Epstein, and they're focusing on, he's the bad guy, he's wild. Oh. There's more than him in the world that is doing this, okay? And this is what they're worried about here, is that the true extent. And I think the real issue here is that it's genuinely not being, because because it's partly, mainly, let's be honest, the media's fault, where if you scream and shout that everything, play victim for everything, or everything's so outrageous, scandalous, and all that kind of stuff, almost as if you keep constantly calling somebody racist or Nazi or something like that, it loses value. It loses its potency. It loses its worth as a word, to truly describe something. So when it actually comes along, basically by design, it's being ignored. This is so profound that they are the elite. Multiple countries are all squeaky bum time right now. Technical term. They genuinely have no idea how they're going to get out of this. And we've got to use AI tech, use the facilities we have available to us to hold them accountable. To take screenshots or download find the stuff and then just share it as to your friends and family. It's like, this email exchange here is insane. This one here talking about Tony Blair about this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. They're right there. Yeah? And it's our responsibility as a collective, so many times, what else are they hiding? Yeah? The downside, I'll say this now, the downside is that the search facilities on the actual website is a bit pants. But just keep typing in people's names and they keep coming up. All these different references and stuff. Wow. The footnote. Here it comes. This is why people keep referring back to Blair has a lot to answer for. Where it all started. I was thinking of this last night, and it's a genuine thought. Okay. I don't know the answer to this. But it's like, what does someone have to do? Because once again, the word treason keeps getting thrown about. I was just like a mind game kind of thing. I was like, I wonder, what is the threshold for someone to finally be arrested on treason? Because it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, but we've got justice here. Chef kiss. Mwah. We're finally cause and effect. You reap what you sow. Here we go. And this implication here is big. Okay? Hence the tug of war. Hence they're trying to prevent the wheel of fortune to be upright for you and me. Hence why they realize, because they're in it, the control is gone. They have no control. At this present time, it's up to you and me, baby. Yeah? This is where we're at. So I'm glad that's what we're truly missing here. It keeps coming back to the fact that we've basically manufactured this, manifested this. We are now in control. It's just they don't realize it, or they do realize it and they're not saying anything. Yeah? This is, and I'm sorry, but occasionally I just want to just say it one more time. This is going back. How many months now? How many months have I been slapping you silly? Well, hello. That's not quite what I was thinking of saying, but we'll go with it. Pluto in Aquarius, right? You can roll your eyes later. Hate to say I told you so. Yeah? Notice how all the institutes, like the UN, for goodness sake, is bankrupt. They're crying poverty for the second year in a row. This time it's like worse, double the amount this year than last year, in the red. They genuinely don't know how they're going to survive by June or July, something like that. A matter of months away. Yeah? Because previously it was all about centralized controls. Big institutions, big pharma, big tech, big farms, all that kind of stuff, centralized. We're now in a Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 odd years. This is the change we're seeing. Yeah, these people are desperately to hold control. They've now officially lost it here. They've genuinely lost it. No one's woken up to the fact now that they've genuinely lost it. Yeah, and they're going to get their comeuppance. Everything from Ursula von der Leyen all the way through to kind of like Macron, everyone. Yeah, all part of this cabal. This is what we're missing. Ultimately, I was hoping for subjects, but this is it. Okay? For the new boys and girls, I'm sorry, Pluto in Aquarius is all about small businesses, small governments, more control, freedoms to you, yeah, rights to you, liberties back to you you and me, the small guy, yeah? Going back to more of a community feel. The last time this happened was 250 years ago. We're a unique time in our lives right now. Okay? A unique time. We'll never see it again for another 250. Unless I'm going to be on on the social security in America, I don't think I'm going to live another 250 years to be back on the thing. If you know, you know, you don't worry if you don't. But that's where we're at right now. Yeah? The last time it happened was the American independence. Okay? Which gave beautiful things, which I still think that they're not implementing correctly, but gave beautiful things like Constitution, the Bill of Rights, yeah, independence, that kind of thing. So, because the Bill of Rights, for me, and it's just me, my opinion, the whole purpose of what I can gather was written was all three documents were like, they're all feeding into each other, but they only take the Constitution as gospel. They ignore the Bill of Rights. It hasn't got as much weight to it. It's important, but it's not got as much weight to as the Constitution. When, in my humble opinion, it's akin. It's the same level. Three documents are all kind of interconnected to each other, and they're supposed to be almost like God, Spirit, Universe, or or excuse me, or like You know, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You know, all like it's three kind of together, entwined with each other. That's the last time it's happened. That's what greatness could come from this. Okay, a new way forward, a new foundation, a new stepping stone kind of thing. Just as a caveat, just the example I like using is that a couple of years later, the French Revolution started to bubble up, and the guillotine and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why that failed, it was that they were 5 years late, too late. They had moved, the Pluto had moved on. This Aquarius time, yeah? And that's why it failed, in my humble opinion, because they were going against the grain of the energy then. They saw what happened in America, but it was a finite time, 20 years. And they were just a little bit too late. So this is phenomenal. The technical term for the Justice card here is they're genuinely crap scared of this. So let's have footnotes again. Bloody hell! Right. So let's have a look at the outcome here. Where's this going? Footnotes. Sorry, not footnotes. Outcome, please. I know. Word. Shut up. I know. I'm sorry. This is going on for a while, but there's so much here and so kind of different aspects to this that I'm just trying to tie it all together for you. So the outcome. Cut the deck. Okay. Outcome to all this shebang. King of Wands. Finally. Not Stuttery Starmer. This is you and me with the heat wave. Eyes on the prize. Okay? This is going back to freedoms. Getting our freedoms back. Getting our freedom of speech back. Getting our liberties back. Our rights back. None of this kind of pitting people against each other because of labels and stuff. Yeah? This is lovely. Okay? This is lovely. Eyes on the prize, focused on it. King of Swords. Truth, knowledge, wisdom, law and order would also be there. Yeah? Two kings, extraordinarily powerful. Straight off the bat. Absurdly powerful. Based in truth, honesty, truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data, evidence. Right there. Eyes on the prize, backed up with the gumph. Yeah? Empress. With our skills and mindset and knowledge base and understanding and concepts and ideas and driving license and mortgages and A-levels and O-levels and all that. Everything we've accumulated together. Yeah? DEFRA, let's be honest, DEFRA as an example is has no idea how farming is done or what it's about or anything like that. It's just a tick box exercise to get in the way, right? Farmers are it's kind of going back to the things if you can't teach. Well, if you can't, then just become like civil servant. In my humble opinion, it is at the moment. So this is like sharing the skills, sharing the mindset, sharing the knowledge base, sharing all that good stuff. All right. Then we've got reflection. Notice the star cards in the lantern here. This is the change we want to see. Now what? Now the foundations have changed. Now the foundations have slotted into place. Now what? Sun card, happiest card in the deck. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Sneaky buggers. They're always around, aren't they? They're always trying to compensate for something, aren't they? Trying to get control of something or other. They're but taking the leap of faith. Notice they're trying to... This feels like getting their money offshore. Getting assets offshore. This feels like the final kind of crap. Get, like, leave, go, like... It's that sort of energy. I'm not saying they are at all, but I am being reminded of the mass exodus of Germans going to, was it Argentina? That kind of quick go kind of thing. That's what I'm getting. Meanwhile, we're taking a leap of faith. We're surrounding them this side with the sun, taking a leap. Notice that these are both yellow as well, like from the glare, the light from the sun, illuminating this. This could also be destroying documents, that kind of stuff. This is what's one of these things that's really frustrated me, is like, oh, it's going to interfere with our investigation, blah, 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 Met Police, Met, blah, blah. Everyone knows. You just go and arrest him to just seize his devices, seize his documents, seize anything. Because he's just like, Mandelson's just like willy-nilly knowing that it's going to come his way eventually. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where... Anyway, strength. Notice the sunlight coming in again. Yeah, okay, we've got the Empress here as well, but there's like, these are not necessarily cold, but they're pure, they're clear, they're understand. You're like, yeah, this is warmth. The strength, taking control back. Yes, lovely. Hanged Man. There's something here about like letting certain people go. I don't think it's the upper echelons. This feels as if it's like the secretaries or the personal assistants or the ones that carry the bags and all that, you know, all their little chums to make them feel important, you know. It's that kind of like, you tell us what you know and we won't charge you, you won't anything, you know, contribute to the thing. That kind of energy, okay? But I tell you now, this is not, oh, I'm just doing my job. None of that crap. I'm telling you now, there's none of that that's cut out up here, right? This feels like a huge wave here, a massive wave of change, to the point where that, like, even the culture of like the interactions with government have to change. Not digital ID and all that crap, but more like realizing when you call up, they're the ones that have to be nice. Oh, please, we don't tolerate blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Well, they're now helping us, kind of thing, if you get me. It's like when they're wanting to help because they realize where it really is now, the control is. It's something to do with that. Quick movement, quick decisions, change. There we go. Wish coming true. Happily ever after. Here we go, baby. Hierophant. This is really nice. This feels that it's like the languages. Oh, is that Five of Swords? Yes, it is. Hollow Victory. Yeah. Yeah. So the Hierophant is once again slightly going back to the rules and regulations and law and order and all that kind of stuff we talked about up here. Fair enough. But this feels more about leaning into the faith of situations. I think the age of taking, I have to be careful about this, but taking the advice of experts as gospel, the science is in. Like, instead of following their intuition, this feels more like following the intuition, learning how to use your intuition more, that kind of thing, collectively. Because remember that science is only supposed to be a theory, and then it has to be challenged and that kind of thing. Well, if you're funding, and this is like, if you're funding scientists to get the answer you kind of want, and also on the other side, in like lots of journals, this has been for at least 15 years. I know that for definite. If you're not, they will, like, journals will refuse to publish your works if they don't agree with what you've done or what you're doing. So it's like preventing science, if you get me. This feels like resetting the relationships energetically. Now, for some of us, that will be through spirituality. And for some of us, they'll call it a gut feeling or a, that kind of energy, more of a cold situation. But either way, it's the same thing. Yeah, basically, it's the same thing. So now we've got two footnotes here. Ten of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse feels as if... This feels like the seizing of the things they're trying to get away from. Yeah? They're trying to sneak out the back door kind of thing. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then the Knight of Wands is that entrapment kind of thing. Where in the Knight of Wands, passionately galloping in, quickly moving, that kind of thing. This way, it's stuck, it's cold, it's harsh. They don't quite know they're trapped. Yeah? Similar, not quite the same, but similar to kind of like an Eight of Swords energy. Yeah? Imprisoned, stuck, trapped, quicksand, that kind of energy. Yeah? But whatever it is, they can't move their assets. They can't move their wealth. They can't share it. They can't move it. They can't groove with it, anything like that. I'll remind you, it's them, it's not us. We've got the wish happily ever after. Yeah? So this kind of goes back to the hollow victory kind of thing of the Five of Swords. They thought they were winning, on the winning side. That's where all the money was. That's where all the hobnobbing was. That's all the private jets were. That's all that, living the life of luxury and all that on our back, as it were. Now, their rewards, their possibly ill-gotten gains are now stuck. Yeah? So, finally, I know this is going on forever. I get it. But finally, let's go and use the Kipper deck as always. This is lovely. Okay? But it's that realization that we need to, it keeps coming back. This realization that we, like, the whole thing has shifted. And even though it's almost like the rules have changed. That's been repeated over and over and over again in this reading. It's the rules have changed and all that, but we're still playing the game of the old rules. Do you get me? But almost by grooming, by kind of manipulation, by the same old kind of thing. We're so used to a routine that it's still going on. We haven't collectively truly realized that the gates have opened in the war camp prison. Yeah, war is over. It's a whole different. Do you see what I'm saying? For some reason, I'm like the Great Escape is imagery is in my head. So it's like war is over. The camp no longer, it's done. It's a done deal. And now but then it's like, it's almost like stepping into the light. Are we allowed to? Is this because we're so conditioned of the previous game that we don't recognize it. We're questioning it. Are we? Is this right? Is this the way forward? Is this? How does this feel like? So, Kipper deck, and then we'll get the hell out of here. So, one more. Okay. Right. Despair keeps coming up, doesn't it? It's not our despair. We shouldn't take it on. Don't take it on. We're the innocents. Yes. Yeah? We're all the victims in some respects. Okay? I know this is controversial. I appreciate that. And I don't like hierarchies. You know that too. We're all equal. We're all in this together kind of thing. But quite right. The people, the like literally in the horrificness, quite rightly. Maximum support, care, that kind of thing is needed acknowledge them, help them, support them, right? But there is also underneath you and I of the manipulation of what's been going on here. Yeah. And what, like I said, once again, Epstein is only one of many. Yeah. Soros, for goodness sake, is another one of this manipulation and crazy, who got all his money from betting on against the British pound in the 1970s. It made him a billionaire within hours, right? So they're all part of this shenanigans, okay? But we're all the innocent party here. The ones that this is their whole world crumbling. Yeah? Whole world crumbling. Courtship. New partnerships. Feels a bit wary on that one. Thoughts. Judicial. It's almost as that the wariness of that is the hangman. Who do we truly let go? Who's going to speak out and actually speak the truth, kind of thing. I like the fact that we've got the judicial here. I've been told one more. This is going on forever, but I'm loving it. Wealthy man. This is going to lead back to, especially with the quick movement underneath. This is going to lead to the higher echelons. I don't know which reading it was. I think it was this week. There is going to be a huge shift while they're trying to be sneaky buggers and trying to get all their assets out the countries and stuff like that. 10 of Pentacles, same guys, same girls. There was a reading at some point where I was talking about their assets being removed, their pensions being removed. They're almost like ill-gotten gains. And I know I keep referring to them, but it's just like the history that we all know, right? I'm not implying anything. Similar to what happened to the Nazis after the fact. The artwork was removed. You see what I mean? Like that similar energy there. Court case. Yeah. They're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. Gift. Notice that for us, all on the up and up. We're the innocent parties. We are all the innocent parties. We've been manipulated for a long time. Court, like I said, the courtship here is like making, kind of forgiving some people, low-ranking ones, but they're going to have to testify and that kind of thing. The fact we got court case and judicial, this is massive. To the point where I genuinely believe there is something here about pausing everything that is something like pausing everything that's happened or is happening right now in the court system to literally do the same about Southport. It's like you reap what you sow kind of energy. You pushed it through, you manipulate the thing. Now the same is going to happen to you. The big hitters are now having to go through it as well. And this is before the cherry on top of the things like, I believe it's been moved back to April with strangely, the Ukrainian lads who happen to know where Stuttery Starmer used to live in his rental properties and his ex-car. That is coming up in April, yeah? So it's all this kind of shebang, this whole cleansing, okay? But like I said, there needs to be kind of a rehabilitation of the lower echelons. I'm still reflecting on it. I know this is going on forever. I get it, but I think this is the biggest reading we've ever done, actually. I would say that because, I mean, my ego needs a rub, but I mean, but this, it's sometimes like this. I wish there was a facility that we had in the village that I could kind of like pull this apart a bit and really kind of like deep dive of why. But that would be hours long. And that is just like, I'm running out of coffee. There's not like, they ain't got time for that, you know? I've got bronchitis. If you know, you know. Don't worry about it. Anyway, the thing is that it just this is, and we've been building up to it, but this is the huzzah moment. I'm still trying to bring it back. This is the tipping point. This is what we've been leading to all this time. It's not a leadership thing. It's the whole shebang. And this is now the true it still feels like there's another shoe to drop. This is but this is the turning point. This is the point that we'll look back at. It's like, this is the end of the war day, VE day or whatever. Yeah, this is what this is. Okay, but we've got to do our own due diligence. We've got to use tech and the tools that we have to share around the stuff that's going on. We need, we can't just be bystanders anymore. Yeah. Obviously, the rules have changed, so you've got to cover your own backside and stuff like that at the moment. But still, you can just. Has anyone else seen this from the Epstein file? Has anyone else that ask questions? Don't state necessarily. Ask questions. Don't take my word for that. That was John What's-His-Face, who's now on the newsagents, when he was talking about when he worked at the BBC. Obviously, you've got to be neutral, he was saying, but broad strokes. But but you can. Someone really doesn't want me to talk about this. But if you put a question mark at the end, then it is a question. It's not. You're not putting a statement out there. You're questioning. Is this really is this really viable? Is this really a thing? And that's a technicality to get around it at the BBC rules and stuff. Yeah. So this truly is massive. But it's now up to us to realize how we are going to approach this. Okay? Uses our voices and stuff. It's just popped into my head, and we'll finish off on this. This is the day we realize that collectively that all of the empresses and emperors of across Europe and all that kind of stuff, all these people who thought they were better than us, clearly compensating for something. This is the day the emperor has been pointed out that he has no clothes, or the empress has no clothes. This is the day. Okay? Mark it in your calendar. This is the day. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for getting through it. Can you, anyone comment down below, even if you've done it in several stints and stuff like that, comment down below if you've actually reached to the end, right? And yay, part of the ending club or whatever, that kind of thing. However, you crazy people. However, until next time, where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again, I'm going for a nap. Take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.